What's going on, guys? Today we're looking at another mechanical keyboard, 75%, 81 keys. This one is the Phantom S from Tecware. And there's a lot of things to be talked about this one. There's a lot of features that I actually like. And as always, we're gonna go through the unboxing. We're gonna go through all the details and talk about in the conclusion at the end. Hey guys, welcome back to our Hammerstein's channel. My name is Ivan, and today we're looking at the Phantom S by Tecware. This is a mechanical keyboard that it's compact, 75%, 81 keys, features an LCD screen, features a massive 4000 milliamp hour battery inside, and some very interesting other things that we can go through and check out today. Let's go straight into the unboxing. We're gonna look at the details. We're gonna hook it up and see the RGB effects, obviously. You know, what's a gaming keyboard without RGB? And at the end, we're gonna talk about it in the conclusion, if I recommend getting this keyboard or not. Here's the box for the Phantom S by Tecware. You can see a lot of the features are outlined outside perfect. Retail box outlining most of the important features, including what kind of keys we have, including the LCD there is, the RGB, all the other options here. Even if you flip it around in the back, there's even more information. Complete diagram of the layout of this keyboard, how is it sectioned, all the pads, all the ABS parts that are included, very nicely explained. I love when the companies do this because that gives you immediate perspective. If you're picking up this one in the retail, what kind of expectations you're gonna have. 4000 milliamp hour battery built inside. They're promising up to 400 hours continuous usage of this keyboard when you're using them on wireless or Bluetooth. Obviously we have the trifecta here, wireless, Bluetooth, and wired. You can see the size of the keyboard, 75%, that's 81 keys. And let's see what's included. It's already listed outside, but I'm curious to see the details. Right away, dust cover right on top, excellent addition. I've talked about that before many times. Even a simple plastic cover like this does miracles when you put it on top of your keyboard, and if you're not using it for a while or even for a couple days, you don't want any dust accumulating between the keys. Or if you eat or drink around the keyboard and maybe you accidentally spill something on top of it, this is a good protection to have. Getting a good keyboard to the side, and we have a small but very useful user manual right here with the key combinations, how you can use it, how you can navigate and all that stuff. Excellent. It's not a big booklet, but covers everything you need to know. And on the back side here, we have the rest of the accessories. First thing we're gonna look is the braided cable, and let me see the length of this cable. I think the company is promising it to be 6 feet or 1.8 meters. And yes, this is the length of the cable. What we have here is USB-A on one side and USB-C on the opposite side, not a right angled or not 90 degrees. Shielded. The braid is good, but the cable itself is a little bit stiff, and I've talked about that before. I prefer to have a very soft cable for less resistance, and when it's softer, if you have stuff on your desk, it's less likely to knock things around, like USB drives and stuff like that, which I constantly have. No caps on these, but who cares? You can plug them in right away. It's a small plug like that because compact is better in my opinion. Some of those companies making them too big. Anyway, cable to the side. What we have here is a combination key extraction and keycap extraction tool, metal, very good to see. And finally, we have 4 extra keys, and you guessed it, you can see it from the images. Obviously, it's this version of the keyboard I have is the red key. They have 2 ones. One is the brown, one is the red. My preferred always been the red because of the tactile feedback and the silence combination. It's still very good tactile feedback. At the same time, they are less loud when you type on them. And of course, we're gonna do the typing test that everybody's asking all the time. Let's see the keyboard itself. My preferred size of keyboard, by the way. This is my preferred size, not too small, not too big. Mentioned before, I have multiple computers on my desk, 3 to be exact, and each one of them is using this type of keyboard because it gives me enough room to line them up on the desk and use them without interfering with each other. Let's look at the keyboard. What we have here, 3 different shades of color on the keys itself. Black for the main, we have light gray kind of for the escape, back and enter, and the arrows as well, and space bar. And then we have kind of a dark gray on dedicated delete, page up, page down button. control, some of the FNs, and the home button. I like this because it's clearly visible. You can distinguish which ones are the keys. Having dedicated here on the side, it's a big plus, by the way. So on the left side, we have the switch. We can go between wireless, wired, and Bluetooth. So we have all the three here, very conveniently placed, by the way, and they're not easy to switch, but so accidentally you're not going to be just switching between back and forward. That's excellent. Right on top in the middle is the USB connection. Ideally with these kind of keyboards, I prefer to be the one side or the other side, or if it's in the middle, should be able to route the cable through a channel, but they don't have this one here. On the right side, we have the housing for the wireless receiver, which again goes nicely right here. Let's see if it's gonna fly away if I shake the keyboard. Not flying away. It's not magnetic, at least I cannot tell if it's magnetic. It doesn't really snap in place like we have magnets, but it stays no matter what you do. Branded on top of it with the company name, so you're not gonna mix it with other ones if you have around the house. And right on this corner, we have the metal knob for the volume. Press down for mute. Excellent. This is one of my favorite features on any keyboard, so I can easily lower and increase the volume of the sound and mute it. And right here we have the tiny little LCD screen. Now this is smaller than some of the other ones you've seen on my channel, which were an inch, inch and a half, 2 inches for some of them. This one seems like it's a ½ an inch diagonal. We're gonna see what kind of animations we're gonna have here, and let's see if I click it on the wireless, if it's gonna come up. Yep, here's the animation for the company, and it's coming right up. And right away we have the date, which is not set. We're gonna have to plug it in the computer to have the date set. Hopefully the camera focuses. Yep, it's currently showing January 10th for some reason. Battery is full though, and the time also is not set correctly. It's just showing some random time. Shows the windows, shows that it's on the wireless mode, and if I switch to Bluetooth, let's see if that's going to change it. Well, the indicator here changes it to blue, and obviously Bluetooth will be the indicator. We have another one for caps lock here right next to it above, and then we have another one from the numerical lock over here. Now you see how this changed to Bluetooth instead of wireless. If I go back to wireless, it's going to disappear. Kind of weird that the display resets itself as soon as you switch to different modes. If I go to wired, it's just going to disappear completely. If I go to the bottom side, we have 4 rubber legs for the flat stage if you keep it down, and then we have 2 different stages of legs, extended with rubber and smaller one again with rubber. My preferred option. All the 3 are available. Excellent to see if you keep it flat, or if you want just a slight elevation, or maybe you want more elevation, you can use that. Very well done. The whole body of the keyboard is ABS plastic. Keys are double shot ABS as well. Very good. And the backlight, north side backlight, which means it's visible. It's going to shine through the letters so you can see them in the dark nicely. Some of these RGB themed keyboards don't shine through the letters, and it's hard to read them. 19 RGB modes predefined, but if you want to install their software, you can kind of create your own. You can create macros, or you can customize the LCD screen with your own GIFs and stuff like that. Personally, I always avoid installing softwares. Just I don't want my computer to be slowing down with extra softwares to be installed. So whatever is by default, I'm going to use it this way. A little branding here on the bottom of the keyboard. Very classy. Love when companies do that, and it's not huge over branded. Overall, very stylishly looking keyboard, very nicely organized, and very comfortable actually. Like how these keys are separated in their own section underneath the LCD. I mentioned that before. Real quick for the sound test, let's see. I'll be quiet and you pick up the noise from the keys. This is how the keys sound. Again, in my opinion, the keys will sound differently depending on the force you're applying on the keys. It's one thing if you're typing just like this. There's another thing if you're typing like this, or if you tend to hit the keys with more force. It all depends on your personal style. So normally I don't understand when people ask for sound tests, because it's all very personal how exactly you're typing. If I'm typing like this, normally with all my fingers on top of the keys, I'm barely touching the keys. So the sound is minimal, but I know people, even in my family, that keep their fingers elevated above the keyboard and they're just kind of slamming the keys, which makes it a little bit louder. Anyway, let's plug it in, see the RGB, and we talk about it in the conclusion. Now here's the thing, this keyboard is one of those that you can just plug in some random USB just for charging and have the old RGB going on. You actually will have to plug it into a computer to get the full length of the glory. And let's get closer a little bit. You can see how the RGB goes through the keys. You can easily pick each one of those keys and what they represent, even in the complete darkness. So if we follow the user manual, quick combinations between the keys is going to be FN and delete. This is going to turn off and turn on the RGB for those of you that don't want to have the RGB. I know a lot of people have asked, can it be turned off or on? This is a very good option right here. Turn it off, turn it back on. When you turn it off, only the LCD stays on, just clearly indicating time, battery, and all that stuff. Now, if you see, if I press the caps lock indicator, not only the lights up, but also on the LCD screen, there's a little indicator to show us that the caps lock is on. And how do we scroll between the different RGBs? Is we have to do FN, page up and page down. These are the, this is the way we scroll through it. Let's go through them real quick. And you will notice while I'm changing them, the icon here in LCD is changing, which is excellent because a lot of those keyboards that don't have that LCD, you might not know what the name of the particular mode is or what mode you're on. This definitely helps a lot to have your indication, and very nicely done. I'm actually pleased with the icons they have created here, and they kind of show you what it is. The only thing is when you change them, you'll see it's on Chinese, which, yeah, it's something that you might have to change through the software in order for you to find the English language here. By default is on Chinese. If I use the volume button though, there's no any indication on the LCD screen, which I kind of find to be a negative. Some of these keyboards, if you've seen my channel in the past, when you increase and decrease the volume, there will be indicator on the actual LCD screen what's happening. I know you can look at your screen or your monitor, but if you're having your monitor off, maybe you're listening to a music and just want to increase and decrease, you want to see the level of it. So this is something you need to kind of consider and think about. The brightness can be increased with FN and arrow up. So we have a blinking when we reach the final point. I like that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the most bright. And then the speed can be increased again with FN and arrows to the side. And of course we have the unified color, which currently is purple, but through the software you can actually customize to have unified color. I'll mention that before in my videos. I like to match the color of my keyboard with the color of the internals of my computer. For example, if I have all green inside, I want the keyboard to also be all green. So that's a possibility as well. So yeah, they did a pretty good job with this keyboard. Considering this keyboard is around $50, I think it's a definite recommendation for me because of all those things mentioned. Yes, the LCD screen doesn't have the full functionality that I would love to have. It's a little bit on the smaller side, but still pretty useful for what the keyboard represents. It's very solid, very sturdy, built-in big battery inside. So yeah, let's go talk about it in the conclusion. All right, conclusion time. And what do I think about the Phantom S? I mean, this is a very compelling product. And first and foremost, keep in mind the price over here. We're talking about around $50. Now the prices are really trickling down on some of those features that used to be around $100+ like the LCD screen, like the metal knob for the volume, built-in big battery and all that stuff. To me, this is an excellent proposal. despite the fact that the LCD screen is not the biggest I've seen before, and you heard me talking about it through the video. This is probably the only minor negative that I can complain about. Yeah, the cable is not the softest as well, but I have so many other ones that I can easily replace because it's detachable. Some of you might not even care about that because you're not moving your keyboard too much. You don't care about the restrictions and the friction and all that stuff and knocking things around your desk. Personally, in the past, I've faced many of those issues, so I kind of drifted away from the stiffer cables, go to the most softer ones. But those of you that prefer wireless, you have it here. You have the Bluetooth. You can use it for a media center as well. Just turn off the RGB. Obviously, if you have a media center and you want that movie room to be dark, you can turn it off and just have the tiny LCD here. Shows you the time and the date and some of the other features. Yeah, it doesn't show the volume level, which is kind of a negative, but maybe through the software it's possible. Personally, I'm not going to install the software. I'm not a fan of third-party softwares that you have to install to do all kinds of customizations. I wish everything was built in, all the functionality was built in, and we didn't have to go through all that hustle to do it. Unified color is possible. Nice little switch on the side for the modes. Huge battery. I mean, this is 4,000 milliamp hour battery inside. They're promising 400 continuous hours of usage, which means if you're wireless or wired, that is almost 20 days consistently, which nobody will do that. Hopefully you're not doing that, right? Keys are good. The light goes through the keys itself. You can see the letters in the complete dark room without struggling to find them. I have some of those keyboards that the light doesn't go through, and that's becoming a problem. Dedicated delete, page up and page down, and home buttons, which are essential if you're playing some specific games. And overall, great comfort over here. Multiple stages on the legs. Red keys, they also offer the brown, but red keys are my preferred because of all the reasons I've mentioned in the past. And overall, not to make this video super long, I definitely recommend it. I think for the price, this specific keyboard is a very good option for anybody that wants to stay in a budget, save some money, and channel towards some more expensive hardware, GPUs, CPUs, whatever. You see what's happening these days with the prices and availability and all that stuff. But this is a good proposal. You can even throw it in your backpack, travel somewhere if you prefer to have an external keyboard with your gaming laptop or your gaming desktop. And I'm saying gaming desktop because I mentioned it before. I have traveled, and sometimes even today I travel with the Omen 16L and similar kind of a small form factor desktops that I can throw in my carry-on and take them on the plane if I travel somewhere for a long period of time. But yeah, long story short, I really like this keyboard for the price. I think it's an excellent choice, a great retail package. They even provide you extra keys, which a lot of those companies much more expensive don't even give you that anymore. For double the price, here you have the extraction tool, you have detachable cable and extra keys. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hit the thumbs up if you like the video. Stay tuned to the channel. Subscribe if you're new. Check out some of the other videos coming very, very soon. I have a couple exciting compact monitors, those external monitors, gaming monitors that I'm really curious to see how they're gonna perform. I have a couple of new computer cases we can look at. So yeah, videos are coming up. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below the video. It helps me tremendously bringing you videos like this regularly. And as always, guys, you have a wonderful day.